Face the cold. The blunders, the mistakes that were just silly mistakes. Here's what the surroundings look like this morning. There you are. So only take a couple ounces. Pull up maps, see where I'm at. Really out in the middle of nowhere. So cool. So much more work than a campfire. 32 Fahrenheit. Look at this dogwood. Great for making like a bow and arrow. Nothing like a good fire out in the middle of nowhere. Unless you can see me eating it. Yeah, it's fickle. This is the best I've got it. That's right. Put a camp up right here. Oh. Good morning. Well, it's a lot colder today. I mean, a lot colder. And it got really, really cold last night. I'm talking like down in the 20s. But the pooch and I did surprisingly well. Stayed surprisingly warm. I'll tell you, the very best heating or sleeping system that I found is wool blanket on the bottom, and then 2 of these packable down blankets on the top. It's so warm and it's so easy to pack. It's much easier than packing, I think, one of those huge, $1,000 Arctic down sleeping bags. Oh, I just love my wool blanket. But even if you have to stick your head up underneath the blankets, you can breathe into your wool blanket, and that'll take a lot of the moisture from your breath, and it won't go into your down. What I have here are two down blankets, you see there. And what I did is I put Velcro along the sides and Velcroed those together so that they stay together. Oh. Yeah, so temperatures dropped tremendously last night. I haven't been up yet. I gotta get up and pee. That wood stove was so hard to keep going, to get burning, and to keep burning last night. It was terribly hard. And it's just because the wood is all so wet around here. I'll tell you what, it did not want to go. So, got a couple priorities this morning. One of my tripod that I fixed with Band-Aids yesterday, it's not doing too good. But I think I might be able to do something with the wire that I brought for the stovepipe. I might be able to finagle up something there, fix my tripod. Guess it's time to get up and face the cold. Let's do it. This is the worst part when you gotta pee, is putting the shoes on. Whew, gotta pee. All right, gonna try to get some fire in my wood stove, so I'll have a warm place to go to throughout the day. But here's what the surroundings look like this morning. That kind of a day, kind of a gray day. It feels, I'll tell you, it feels like snow. It feels like the weather wants to snow. We'll see if it actually does or not. All right, so what I'm going to do different today so that my fire keeps going a little bit better is I'm only going to take stuff that is that has not been on the ground. But see this? It's hanging. It's just hanging there. So that's been drying out. Got a bunch of options here. This stuff's all drying out. So I'm going to take all that stuff. And then the stuff that's wetter can go on top of that once the flame's going real good. It's cold out here, and I didn't pack long johns. I didn't pack a toboggan. I didn't pack gloves. Not because I didn't intend to, but because I was thinking about so many things that it slipped my mind when time come for me to leave. All right, let me get some of this. I want to get this fire going. It takes so much energy to chop through that, but that's the kind of thing you want to give your fire duration. Gotta empty out this tray before I start on any of this. Well, that's interesting. How do I get all this stuff out of there? Just like that, I guess. All right. What happens when you're in conditions that are really cold is that, at least it's my tendency, to get really impatient and just want the fire just right now. And that's always a mistake. It's always a mistake to get impatient and want your fire right now. Because you settle for wood that's probably not right. You don't properly build the fire the right way for the little stuff up to the big stuff. You just kind of try skipping to the head of the line with the big stuff. All right. The idea here is that we want all this light stuff here to do the heavy work. I tried to pick the dry stuff, but man, everything's so wet. All right, start putting some of the bigger stuff on there. Well, the wind has died down. That'll help things too. No more wind. I'm so happy about that. The wind is not your friend. That was pretty impressive. That was pretty impressive. There he is. Come on, buddy. There you are. There you are. You out exploring? You out exploring? Finding some cool things? Good. Got this fire going nice and hot. Sure works better when you do it right. Get my coffee and tea and all that. Wasn't a bad night, I tell you. Like I said, that sleep system I've got, a wool blanket, 100% wool blanket, with two like travel down blankets. I was cozy as could be last night. It worked out real well. At 5:15 in the morning, it was pitch dark. It was about 26 degrees Fahrenheit. And at 5:18 in the morning, there were 3 gunshots. I heard 3 gunshots. Now, I don't know what explains that. What kind of daggum fool is up at 5:18 in the morning shooting at things? Maybe a farmer or something nearby. Regular deer season gun starts Monday, and today, what day is today? I've been out here for so long. Today's Thursday. I think muzzle loading and bow and arrow is in. That's why we've got orange. Emerson's got his orange on, and I got an orange hat here somewhere. There we go. Just as a precaution. And I'll tell you, I don't know where I'm at exactly in relation to everything else. So what I'm going to do, see if I can get I haven't had an area phone signal the whole time I've been out here. But I think if I can climb to the top of the mountain, I might be able to get a phone signal, and then I can pull up maps and see where I'm at in relation to roads and stuff like that. Trying to get my water to boil there, bud. I'm gonna have my coffee and my breakfast. Breakfast this morning is just oats. Just instant flavored oats. And we're gonna continue with our soap project here. Last night I was trying to stretch out and I accidentally kicked over half my bacon grease. So that's unfortunate. But it's not for you. That ain't for you. But we'll still be able to make a little ball of soap, I think, out of what we've got left. Stay out of there. Stay out of there. You had your breakfast. Go lay down. There's another person who loves my wool blanket as much as I do, and it's old Emerson here. He hogs the thing. He tries hogging the thing all night long. Yeah, go eat your kibble. Well, I think the water's hot enough to have some coffee here. Coffee.
Velcro. You stay out of there.
Well, since the wind has calmed down, I do intend to get a campfire going out there in front of the shelter. It's mine. That's mine. Stay away from mine. Coffee. He wakes up every morning just ready to go full tilt, and then by the evening he's tuckered out. Also, he thinks he can get my food because I've shared it with him a couple of times, so he starts thinking it's our food rather than my food. All right, got our ashes here. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. We want to get some lye out of that. And the way we do that is we pour hot water in there, just about an inch above, and that's your lye above the ashes. We'll have to allow those ashes to settle a little bit, and then we're going to pour that lye into our lard, bacon grease. And that is what should make our soap. Good thing about oats is that you can eat them hot or cold. And I'm going to eat mine cold this morning. Heck, you can eat them dry. You can even eat them dry if you want to. You know, there's so many things to do around a camp that, and it's exciting, you know. So you get into a camp and you're all excited. You wake up in the morning all excited with all the chores and fancy things you want to do. It's easy to overlook meals believe it or not. It's easy to overlook meals, but you don't want to overlook meals because it'll hit you later, man. I'll tell you what. Even if you don't feel hungry, you should eat just as a matter of principle for having energy to do the things you need to do later. I think I'll have another one of those. So simple. So daggum simple, but enjoyable at the same time. Perfectly enjoyable. Hear my belly. My belly has been loud on this trip, boys, I'll tell you what. Boys and girls. Been making a lot of noise. Well, this fire's already wanting to die on me. I'll tell you what, it's hard to keep this fire going. It's a lot of work just keeping the daggum fire going. Much more complex than keeping a campfire going. Much more complex. I'll finish this up and go around trying to find more dry wood. All right, well, I think it's time for our lie. Let's take a look at this. Got our boiling water here. Got our ashes. We're just going to pour that into our ashes here. And that's making lye right now. We're going to strain that. Once that cools down, we're going to strain that through a bandana. Let's go ahead and put the rest in there. And we don't need a whole lot of lye, just a little tiny bit. So this will do it. And here's our bacon grease for this. It's going to be interesting. All right, after this, I want to get that campfire started out here. And for supper, we're going to try to cook some pork, and I'll show you that. No finesse. He's got no finesse. He'd bring down the whole shelter if he wanted to. It's just got to cool. We're just gonna let that cool and settle. And we really just want the water on top of those ashes. We don't want all the ashes. But I think we're gonna strain that through a kerchief that I brought with me. One thing I want to warn you about with this lye process is that that'll burn you. This will burn you. I'm not talking about the heat. I'm talking about chemical burn. That intense lye will give you a chemical burn. So you want to be aware of that. Don't let it come into exposure with, direct exposure with your skin. So you want to wear gloves and that sort of thing, or just avoid getting that directly on your skin, which is what I'm going to try to do. I don't really have like gloves or anything like that to keep the lye off of me, but I'm just going to be real careful about the way I handle it. And I think what I can do is, so here's the kerchief I brought. And I think what I can do is with our bacon grease here, which is just lard, I think I can do it like that. And then just pour, something like that. And then just strain. Yeah, just gonna do it like that. This is just my cook mug. It's got that lard in there. And then we'll just pour the lye in the top like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. When the time comes. For now, I need a stick. Just a stirring stick. Okay, so that looks all muddy now, but I'm just going to let that rest and settle. We just want to make sure that we get the most lye out of that we can. The most concentrated amount of lye. Okay, for this fire that we're going to build, because my resources are getting low, we want to use just the lightest stuff we can find. You see? Stuff like this dead tree here, but just the really light stuff here, because I want my fire starter, my tinder, to take off with this immediately. I don't want to be dickering around with it forever. So we're just going to make a big old pile here of just this really, really light stuff. I mean, we're going to just make a big pile. And then when we get ready to light that thing, we'll put our fire starter, our tinder underneath that pile. This should take off on one try. And that's what we want, one try. One of the reasons why I picked this spot is because of all of this potential firewood right here. You see all this? And you'd think, man, you just never, and it's right here. So you'd think, boy, you just never have to look for wood or anything. But again, it has been raining to beat all. So everything, all this wood has been soaking wet, and I haven't been able to use it. So I've had to go out to try to find wood. And so all of this wood right here has not done me any good, really, for the wood stove. But, like I was saying earlier, the wood stove requires so much more work than a campfire. And it's unfortunate the conditions haven't been ideal for a campfire. But once I get this campfire roaring, going really good, I'll be able to make use of all this wood here that's just waiting to be burned. Because a campfire, once you get it going nice and hot, it'll burn everything. You could throw, look at this. See this waterlogged log right there? I'll be able to throw that right on the fire. It'll burn it right up. But not so in that wood stove. That wood stove is real fickle. And another thing I want to say about that wood stove is that I have a wood stove at home, and this one don't work like that wood stove. It doesn't work like a proper wood stove. I reckon because of the smaller size, it operates a little differently. And what I mean by that is, for my wood stove at home, which is like an old style wood stove, I can get the fire going hot, and then I can completely close the flue, throw wood in it, and it'll heat my workspace all night long and won't burn up and die. So the controls on my wood stove at home are just different, where you can adjust that thing, slow down the burn rate, and have heat all night long. It doesn't work with this portable wood stove. With the portable wood stove, you try to turn it down to slow down the burn rate, and it just dies. So your only other option is to open the dadgum thing all the way up and just burn yourself out of there. And the wood that you put in there and all the work you did on that burns up in like an hour, and then the thing's cold again. So, I don't know. Take this information for what it's worth if you're thinking about getting a wood stove. Now, it would be different if all the wood was dry, I'm sure. If I had gotten in here and everything had been dry, and then I could cut plenty of dry firewood and just feed the wood stove that dry firewood, I'm sure it would be different. But with this wet wood, it just ain't been working for me. So I'm looking forward to having a proper campfire tonight. Planning on heading on out of here tomorrow. So I need a cold stove in the morning. So I probably won't be dedicating too much more time and energy to the wood stove after a few hours from now. You know, another thing that's been really limiting is the not being able to just pick up stuff off the ground. So I have to find stuff that's elevated above the ground like this to burn, and that's just more work, because you're passing up all of this really, what would otherwise be really great wood, but because everything's been so wet, you can't use it. It'll kill your fire. So especially to get started, we need all this really brittle, light stuff that's up in the air. You know, it looked like I just picked some stuff up off the ground, but it wasn't. It was down against the log, so it was up in the air. It wasn't on the ground. Same way with like this. See, that's not on the ground. You can use that. This stuff here, stuff that's poking up off the ground. You know, especially with all that wind last night, a lot of this stuff has been drying out with that wind, so that's good. If it snaps like that, like a Pringles, that's pretty good. It's pretty good if it does that, makes that sound. I'm gonna check out, there is it's like a a granite creek bed over here. Let's see if I can see it. It's right there. And I want to go take a closer look at that. Let's do that. See how the bundle is coming along. I want to keep building on that. Like I said, I want to put my tinder and everything underneath there, and then one try I want it to take. Once we get enough of this really light stuff, big bunch of it, then we can take some of this bigger stuff and put it on there. It'll burn. All right, let's go check this thing out. Well, I can't get across there. I can get across there probably. That is interesting. Slate. See if I can turn around here so if I fall in, you guys get to appreciate it. He's taking the high road up there. I'm trying to take the low road without getting completely soaked. My feet are right on the edge of this. Look at that. A solid rock up through here. Flip the camera around again. Just feeds right down in there. But this solid rock, scared him. Sorry, buddy. Down to solid rock. Down this ravine, tight ravine. Boy, he's good at that. He's only 2, so let's see if he can still do that when he's 9 or 10. Yeah, it looks like something out of Lost World, doesn't it? See if I can use the split screen thing. All right. Gotta get the old thermometer out. So I'm gonna show you guys what the temperatures are here. I'll tell you, I can't believe I left without any gloves, toboggan, knit hat. Long johns. I didn't bring my long johns. And not on purpose did I neglect to do those things. It was just I had so much on my mind about what I was going to need, what I needed to bring, and all this stuff that, oh, this is hairy. That I just, too many things. I should have made a list. Boy, he's got the zooms, doesn't he? Is that what they call them? The zooms? All right. Look at this dogwood. Dogwoods are my favorite trees of the forest. They always, I think they're just the most interesting tree. And they're really great for making like a bow and arrow, because healthy ones, healthy dogwood, the wood will bend a long way without breaking. And usually when they grow natural in the woods, now not so much when you see them in people's yards, but when they grow natural in the woods, they have all these unique shapes. Here's another one right here. That's a dogwood. You see how it's just got that like a gnarly, unique shape? I love the dogwood. Ever since I was a little boy, I'd come out back in these mountains, and I had my favorite trees, and I knew where they were, and they were all dogwoods, because they always grow gnarly and crooked and interesting. And like I said, great for making bows and arrows and stuff like that. All right, let's get back to this fire. So the fire's going pretty good. I'm throwing wet wood on the top of there, and that'll burn. That'll burn just fine. So now I can make use of all this wood here that I haven't been able to use for several days. That's nice. That's a nice sound. So I don't even think I'm gonna, although the stove inside the tent, the wood stoves, is still burning, I don't think I'm gonna do anything more to it on this outing. I'm just gonna enjoy my campfire tonight, bring my chair out here. Hopefully, there's still a little bit of wind. I'd like that wind to die down a little bit. But it'd be nice to spend some time tonight in my chair next to the fire. So I'm just gonna be working on this for a little bit, making sure, you know, once you get a really nice coal bed down, that's what you want. Then you don't have to baby it as much and give it constant attention. You can just trust that coal bed, anything you throw on there will take. I just saw some snowflakes. Boy, that'd be awesome if it snowed tonight. That would be awesome. I'd get like get like 4 climates in one trip. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Really out in the middle of nowhere. And I love it. I love it. Solitude. Moses on the mountain. Jesus in the wilderness. Time with God. He's gonna sleep good tonight. You're gonna sleep good tonight. Let's go tend to that fire. We got a nice coal bed now.
exactly what we want. Now we can throw anything in there. Don't have to baby it as much. Tidy it up a little bit. See, all this wood is pretty wet, but because we've got a nice hot coal bed now, it'll burn. Well, the time has finally come for us to try to make this soap. I think I'm probably more excited about this than a lot of you are. So here's our bacon grease. Here's our lye. Let's get the kerchief ready so we can strain our lye into this, and then we're going to mix it with a stick. I've already picked out my stick. It's right here. Move the camera here so you can see what I do here. All right. Now supposedly this will only take a couple ounces. Go on, strain through. So I don't even have to worry about getting that on my skin. Boy, what happens is that cotton expands. That's why you can have a shelter made out of cotton. When it gets wet, the cotton expands. Maybe do it like that. Boy, it sure don't want to drip through there, does it? Well, put some more in there then. Oh, we got plenty in there. Okay, so now we take our mixing stick and we mix it with that bacon grease. turn it into soap. Look at that. It's working. It's working. That is pretty incredible. Look at that. That is amazing. Now, from what I understand, it has to be hardwood ash. You can't use softwood ash. And if you try, you won't be successful. It won't work. Definitely don't want to splash that in your eye. But that is pretty daggum nifty. This is making a sloppy soap. But it's definitely working. That is so cool. I've never done this before, but I got curious about it the other day. Oh, got some of that on my skin. Hope I don't pay for that. Look at that. It solids it up. Right now it's kind of like taffy. That's so cool. Okay, so there's your soap. And this is the way that the frontiersmen and mountain men would do this. Just use the grease from their meat, and then they would make some lye out of their campfire ashes, and you got soap. So I'll tell you what, now what we're going to do with the bandana is we're going to put our soap in the bandana. Let's pour off the excess lye. There we go. We're going to put our soap right here. That's so cool. Let's say we take my soap down to the creek and give it a try. See if it actually does what it's supposed to do. You coming too? He's like, heck yeah. Bacon grease, soap, for sure I'm coming. All right, let's see. So it's still kind of pasty, but I think it's supposed to be like that. Just take a little bit, like that. Soap up. Yeah, it works. That water's freezing cold, so that's not pleasant, but there you go. DIY soap in the wilderness. And of course, it's really oily. All right. One of the last projects I got in mind. Y'all hear me railing all the time about how fake the videos are where people are cooking like big juicy steaks and stuff like that. And I say if they're doing that, they ain't in the backcountry. Well, I am in the backcountry, and I plan to cook a big juicy pork. But I want to show you how I got it out here. Now this is the third day. I don't know if it's still good, but this is what I did with it. I took this special insulating paper. I took the pork out frozen solid and I wrapped it in this and I come out here. So, and I made my dog carry this, so I didn't carry it. So we're gonna cut this open and see if it's any good. And if it is, we'll cook with it over the fire. Now yesterday I cooked bacon. That was on the second day. And really all I did was I wrapped that in aluminum foil. So the bacon was not specially wrapped like this. And you know, I have my doubts whether this pork's gonna still be good, but I'll give it to my dog if it ain't. But the bacon, you know, I think it was salt cured bacon. And you say to yourself, well, it's cured, so it'll be fine. Well, the curing, modern curing, is not like the curing from like the 1700s, 1800s. Modern preferences might not even be able to tolerate the pork or bacon cured in the old way because it was so saturated with salt. Yeah, most modern tastes would not be able to handle it. But nevertheless, it was salt cured bacon and it lasted a whole day. And that was not frozen. I didn't bring that out frozen. I brought that out of my fridge. So that was just refrigerated and I wrapped it in aluminum foil and brought it out here and it lasted a whole day, lasted a night and the next day, which ain't too bad. So even modern curing can get you by for a couple of days. Another thing is, by the first night out here, the temperatures dropped quite a bit, and especially that second day. So it's been like I've been in a refrigerator since about the second day, about noon of the second day. So I'm hoping that given all these factors, that this pork will be all right. Let's cut her open. If it's fine, we'll roast it right over the campfire tonight. Oh, you know what else I brought out here? I totally forgot. I brought myself fish. I brought fish out here. And that's good. It's good. It's still icy. Yeah. We might fry that up in the pan, and the pork is fine. Wow, that really did the trick. So, there we go, boys and girls. We're gonna really try to have a good time tonight. pork, salmon, and cod. And the cod still feels a little bit icy. Wow, we're gonna eat good tonight, fellas and gals. I misplaced my hatchet. I can't find my hatchet anywhere. It's my favorite hatchet. It's gotta be like right around the shelter. And I keep hoping that I'll stumble on it. Hopefully, when I go to break down tomorrow, I'll be able to stumble on it. That'd be nice. Let's do it over here. Now, for the thing we're going to skewer the pork with, it has to be a live tree. It can't be a dead tree. And the reason for that is that the fire will burn right through the dead tree, but it won't burn through a green tree. So let's just get something. This right here will do. All right. I want to be careful. I just want to hold that open like that. That'll keep that pork from spinning on the spit. So you see how I split that? Now I want to sharpen these ends. And we're going to try to skewer this puppy. Take our pork, pork sirloin. Yeah, you heard that. You heard that, didn't you? Want to open those up, push it through. And be careful you don't skewer your hand. Come on now. There we go. Look at that. Stay away from all that. Here we go. I'm lazy. I don't want to create two holders for this thing. So I'm just going to cook it like this. I know you're saying that's burnt. It doesn't matter. When you cut into it, it won't be burnt. Just turning that ever so often. While that pork's slowly cooking, I have one egg left, and I've also got some cornmeal. And so I thought maybe right here with my little pop can stove, we could fry up this fish. That pork's probably gonna take a while, so let's do it. That's interesting. Never had that happen before. Well, there's a lot of things happening. I've never happened before. Boy, I am hungry. For a little bit there, I was running around doing like 16 different things all at once, all of them time sensitive. But I got some fish here. I battered the cod with some cornmeal. Used up my last egg, so you can see the egg in there. I threw the rest of the egg stuff in there so it wouldn't go to waste. Let's try this out. Whoa! Gotta hang on tight to that. All right, and we're gonna get to the pork here in a little bit. So I haven't forgotten about the pork. Hang on a second. That's the cod. Here's the cod with egg. Woo! Tell you, I can't believe that I forgot that I brought this fish. I was looking so, I'll tell you, had a lot on my mind. It's no wonder I forgot my toboggan, my gloves, and all that. Here's the cod with the cornmeal. I seasoned it with salt, pepper, and cumin. Got a nice little kick. Trying to hold this up for you all because I know it's not interesting unless you can see me eating it. That's the cod with the cornmeal. Hey, I got a surprise for you. We're gonna get into that pork here in a minute. All right, let's try the salmon. See how the salmon turned out. Well, if I can get it on my spoon there. All right, there we go, salmon. Yeah, that turned out pretty daggone good. I'll tell you what, the wind all day long has been coming west to east, and so I set my seat here north-south, and all of a sudden the wind changes its mind. Now, starving. I didn't realize how hungry I was. Here, Emerson, I'm going to give you the rest of this fish. I'm going to start in on the pork. Here, buddy. There you go. All right, here's our pork. You may think that doesn't look too good, but just wait. Wait a second till we cut into that. Look at that. Look at that. I'll be safe doing this. I need to cut him off a great big old piece of this. But man, it's getting dark on me. And here we go. Let's try it with the salt. Man, been eating good out here. You want some more of that? All right. There you go. He's liking that. Here, you want some more, buddy? Whoop. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw it into the weeds. We've been eating good out here, haven't we, old buddy? Yes, we have. There you go. Boy, that disappeared fast. All right, time to put some things up and enjoy some time by the fire. I think I can turn that off. All right, 32 Fahrenheit. That's freezing in Celsius. 60% humidity. So it's cold. And as you can imagine, it's going to get a lot colder. It's going to be cold tomorrow, breaking down. And I can't believe I didn't bring anything to stay warm. What a ridiculous oversight. I think it's snowing. It is snowing. That's wild. All right, we'll get a little bit of everything on this adventure. Snow and all sorts of things. Yeah, it's snowing. All right. Wishes do come true. Oh man, nothing like a good fire. Nothing like a good fire out in the middle of nowhere. All right, I decided to start a fire in the wood stove anyway. It'll be dead cold come morning. I won't have any trouble packing it away. You can see the snow falling. Just little snowflakes. All right, let's go check the temperature over here. And then, actually, let's give the fire some TLC. Because I might want to come out here and sit next to it a little bit more here soon. All right, looks pretty good. Pretty good. All right, let's go check the temperature. All right, it's still freezing. Press that button again. Go back to what makes sense to me. 32 Fahrenheit. Freezing. All right, let's bring this in with us. like it's taken off. So I'll heat up inside the tent here for a little bit and then probably come back out by the fire. I'll tell you what, this wood stove here with my limited options of wood takes some fadangling, that's for sure. It sure does take some fadangling. But I'm thawing out in here. I walked outside to drain the old one-eyed lizard, and when it's cold, man, it's freezing out there, literally freezing. So when I come back in the shelter here, I could tell the difference right away. So it's nice. And I've still got the campfire going out there. But the thing is that the wind has just never stopped the whole time I've been out here. So that's been kind of a hair in my biscuit. The wind just doesn't let up. Boy, last night, the wind was howling and howling. I mean, the last 2 nights, wind just howling and howling all night long. And that makes me think of folks who insist that hammock is the way to go. Hammock ain't the way to go. Not if you want the most versatile option. Hammocks are not the way to go. They don't give you any weight savings in the colder months, and they really limit where you're able to set up. So I just thinking and chuckling last night about somebody who only pack a hammock trying to sleep through last night. You'd be you'd be swaying. It'd be like the stormiest sea you've ever imagined. Branches from the 2 trees you're tied to dropping down on top of your head middle of the night, swaying back and forth. No, hammocks are not the way to go. But I say that as an opinion, very, very strong opinion, but it's an opinion nevertheless. So don't let me tell you how you should do these things. Do it the way you like to do it. The way you've settled on being the best way. So tomorrow I'm gonna load up and head on out of here. And it's gonna be cold tonight. I ain't seen the forecast in 4 days, so. But when I saw the forecast last, I think tonight it was supposed to get down to 26 or something like that. So it's gonna be a cold night, and it's gonna be cold breaking down and hiking out of here tomorrow. The good thing is I'll be carrying a fraction of the weight as I was carrying coming in. Boy, ate good on this trip. There's a few blunders that I made on this trip. And now that I've put myself on the spot, I might not be able to remember all of them. But, as I'm working throughout the day on various things, I catch my mind thinking about the blunders, the mistakes that were just silly mistakes that I would like to correct. The first thing is I lost my favorite tomahawk hatchet. I can't find that thing nowhere. So I'm hoping it'll turn up tomorrow while I'm breaking down, because man, I'd hate to lose that thing. I do have a second one, but it hurts nonetheless. That, what else? I really put myself in a bad spot. I didn't bring any long johns. I didn't bring any change of socks. I'm certain I had those things laying out too. It just, when time come to head out, I must have just zipped up the old pack and took off without double checking. So that's a ridiculous mistake. No hat for my head to keep my head warm at night. I've been tucking my head under my blanket. No gloves, keep my hands warm. No long johns. That's just a really amateurish mistake to make. Oh, what else? Oh, the big one. A big mistake. On the first night, I think it was. On the first night, I went to sleep thinking I was going to wake, and I charged my phone up almost entirely on my power bank. So I went to bed thinking that I was just going to wake up in the morning and have like this almost fully charged phone. I woke up, it was completely dead. I'm talking stone cold dead. And so I had to recharge my phone from 0, and that just killed my power bank. So now last couple days I've been really taking care about keeping my phone on airplane mode, only turning it on to record these videos. But man, my power bank is just killed too. It's just dead. I mean, it's got like 12% left on it or something like that. So I really have to think about these things as I go into tomorrow, because I want to be able to capture some of the trip out of here, breaking down camp and stuff like that. And of course, want to have a phone for emergencies. So I've been climbing the mountain, taking it off airplane mode, seeing if I can get a signal, see if there are any messages come through or anything like that, and then just shutting her down, because I can't afford to lose any battery. All right, so enough talking for now. I might say goodnight or I might not. Next time you see me, it might be in the morning. This is the best I've got this thing to burn since I've been here. And it's actually heating the inside of this shelter just fantastically. It's nice and cozy in here. Freezing outside, nice and cozy in here. So I think I've figured out its fickleness, how to cope with it. Yeah, it's fickle, but this is the best I've got it burning since I've been out here. Nice, steady, slow burn. It's heating up the whole inside here. It's as cozy as can be. Wow. Emerson's buried underneath there somewhere. Need to get a shovel, get him out of there.